58,000 fans. One day. One player. The moment she was eliminated, the stadium went quiet. Not slow. Not gradual. Overnight. Asterisk, and the tournament director was so desperate to fix it, he considered doing something that has almost never happened in professional tennis. Bringing her back. After she'd already lost. This is the Eala effect. And Indian Wells just learned what it costs to lose it. Here's what nobody expected. Indian Wells started perfectly. Stadiums packed. Tickets selling faster than projected. Energy through the roof. Tournament director Tommy Haas looked at his venue and saw exactly what every director dreams about. But then Eala lost. And within 24 hours, entire sections of the stadium sat empty. Matches that should have drawn thousands had hundreds. Commentators noticed it live on air. Social media filled with videos showing seats that looked abandoned at a tournament that had just been electric. For a mandatory 1,000 event, one of the most prestigious stops on the calendar, this wasn't disappointing. It was a crisis. Now let's back up. Because this story starts before the empty seats. It starts with one match. Eala vs Diana Yastremska in the opening round. The demand to watch that single match shocked the entire organization. Ticket prices spiked. Crowds flooded the venue. Reports emerged that the tournament generated millions in ticket sales from that one day alone. 58,000 people on site. The atmosphere wasn't a tennis match. It felt like a global sporting event. Haas watched it happen and thought he understood what he had. He didn't. Not yet. Because what Haas saw was attendance. What he didn't see was dependency. Asterisk, when Eala played, people came. Not to see Indian Wells. Not to watch the tournament. To watch asterisk her. Asterisk, and the second she was gone, so were they. That's not a fan base. That's a phenomenon. And phenomena don't care about your schedule. So what does a tournament director do when his biggest draw has already been eliminated? Tommy Haas reportedly started exploring an exhibition match. Bring Eala back onto the court. Outside the main draw. Outside the official tournament structure. Just, put her on court and see if the fans return. Think about what that actually means. A mandatory 1,000 tournament, one of the sport's most prestigious events, considering breaking from its entire format to feature a player who asterisk already lost, because the alternative was an empty building. That's not a scheduling decision. That's a sport confronting something it doesn't have a rulebook for. But here's what makes this bigger than Indian Wells. This wasn't the first time the tennis establishment underestimated her. At the Australian Open earlier this year, Eala was scheduled on smaller courts. Seemed fine. Reasonable. She's not seated at the top. Standard protocol. Except thousands of fans lined up outside those smaller courts. Crowds spilled past capacity. Thousands were turned away because the venue simply couldn't hold the demand. The organizers didn't reduce the hype. They created more of it. Fans who couldn't get in started talking. Curiosity spread. The story got bigger. The establishment keeps making the same mistake, treating her like a player the rankings say she is, instead of the phenomenon the fans already know she is. And the biggest names in tennis are paying attention. Novak Djokovic, a man who has spent decades competing against the greatest players in history, who understands elite tennis better than almost anyone alive, publicly praised her game. He said watching her on television is impressive. Watching her live is asterisk better. Asterisk, when Djokovic says that about a 20-year-old, you don't file it under, nice comment. You file it under, this is real. Maria Sharapova went further. She pointed to something the sport has circled around for years without fully confronting. Women's tennis at the highest level has been dominated by Europe and North America for decades. The sport has grown globally, but elite representation from Asia? Genuinely limited. Until now. Eala isn't just winning matches. She's representing something millions of fans across Asia have been waiting to see, proof that the top of the sport belongs to them too. That kind of representation doesn't just build a fan base. It builds a ** movement. Asterisk and movements don't go home when the player loses in the third round. Which brings us back to Indian Wells. Tommy Haas learned the lesson the hard way. The Eala effect is not a feature of your tournament. It travels with her. It belongs to her. And when she leaves, it leaves. The empty seats weren't a crowd management problem. They were a mirror. Showing the tennis world exactly what it's been missing, and exactly what it stands to lose every time it puts her on the wrong court. So the question heading into Miami isn't whether the crowds will show up. We already know the answer to that. 60-minute sellout. 6-car motorcade. A governor's formal proclamation. The question is whether the sport finally understands what it's dealing with. Because Indian Wells treated the Eala effect like a surprise. Miami sold out in an hour and started reassigning courts before she hit her first ball. Asterisk, one of those organizations is paying attention. The stadium at Hard Rock is already full. The Pinalo army is already there. And somewhere, Tommy Haas is watching from California, thinking about those empty seats. Wondering what happens to a tournament when the phenomenon is playing somewhere else. He already knows the answer. Asterisk, so does the rest of the tennis world. Asterisk, subscribe. Drop your prediction below. And if you think the WTA is finally waking up to what they have, or still sleeping, say it in the comments. Asterisk.